Hi, I'm Angela, and I'm a sophomore at WashU studying PNP on the pre-med track, and I'm also co-outreach chair of the Catholic Student Union. And I'm making this video just to talk a little bit about kind of like the emotions you get your first semester on campus and how to deal with that, because it's a hard time. And, you know, when you transition to college, you're going to be feeling a lot of different things. You'll probably feel excited, nervous, anxious, overwhelmed, confused, maybe proud, sad, relieved, joyful, and that is all normal, and you're not alone. Everyone's going through a different transition to college, but everyone's going through the transition at the same time, and that's something important to remember. And I remember when I first got to college, I loved the independence. I loved being independent and getting to do my own thing, and even just like going to the grocery store on my own. But I'd also get really homesick at times, and it would hit me when I wouldn't expect it. Like I would be walking down Forsyth, and I would hear a hybrid car drive next to me. It'd sound just like my car from home. And I'd get really sad about not being able to go around and drive around and have that freedom. And sometimes I'd be walking around and hear birds and get really sad because they didn't sound like the birds from home. And I also felt sad sometimes because I didn't get to look at the newspaper in the morning, which is something I'd like to do at home, and read the comics and do the New York Times crossword puzzle with my dad on Sunday mornings. And, sometimes you just really miss a friend from home, and you really just want to go and hug someone and rant about something that only they would understand. And it's hard to not have that at college. So I'm just going to go a bit more into detail about some things that you might be feeling at college and just sort of ways to cope with that. Another really common feeling people get besides homesickness when they first go to college is imposter syndrome. And that's kind of when you feel inadequate or like you don't belong, and everyone else is so much smarter than you, so much more attractive than you, so much more talented than you. And I think that's because in the environment of a college campus, it's really easy to compare yourself because you're so similar to everyone else in so many ways. Because you're at the same college, you probably have some pretty similar qualities, pretty similar academic level to lots of people. And you're also the same age as everyone. You're in similar stages of development. You're going through the same experiences. And that makes it just so easy to compare academically, to compare your appearance with others, to compare how you're taking care of yourself and how busy you are. And just remember that everyone is here for a reason and has in some way earned their right to be in this school, including you. And you're not going to be the best at everything, but you're guaranteed to be really good at something. And it'll probably take some time to find that something. And that something might change. You might think you're really passionate about one thing, and then you discover this whole other thing you didn't even know about. And you switch your whole path. And that's normal. That's fine. That happens to a lot of people. And just remember that the people you're comparing yourself to are probably also comparing themselves to you, and probably are wishing that they were as funny as you, that they were as good at writing as you. And just try and focus on taking care of yourself and worrying about yourself and doing what you need to get through college, to live your life, to stay healthy, and just do what you need to do. And try not to worry so much about what other people are doing. Something I've noticed that happens at college is this almost kind of suffering Olympics, which is this whole concept where people just almost compete to take the worst care of themselves. And, I'm sure we've all heard this. Like one person says, oh, I only got 6 hours of sleep last night. And then someone's like, oh, well, I had so many assignments and I only got 4 hours of sleep. And then someone's like, well, I haven't slept in a year. And it just turns into this whole long competition. And it's ridiculous. And what ends up happening is that people feel bad about not being productive, and then people don't know how to take care of themselves and how to give themselves like their me time. And I beg you, don't fall into that trap and don't engage with this. It is stupid and does not make sense. You need to take care of yourself, and you shouldn't be putting too much on your plate. It's good to have free time. You should be getting sleep, and take care of yourself. Feed yourself. Just take care of your body. Do what you need to do. Here are some tips I have for taking care of yourself and dealing with homesickness when at college. If you're really missing your dog like I did, some of your faculty associates and residential college directors will have pets that you can just go watch and see them running around on the field, or you can end up making an album in your phone of just videos and photos of your dog to watch when you're really missing them. Another solution if you're missing your pet is to get a plant. I personally adopted approximately 13 plants my first year at college. This is Lloyd. He's the only one with me at the moment. The rest are kindly being taken care of by Sean at the CSC, who's an absolute sweetheart. Highly recommend getting to know him. If you have a special stuffed animal or blanket or anything, do not be embarrassed to bring them to college or feel like you're too old to have them with you. Pretty much everyone I know on campus has something like that with them, and it's absolutely normal. Also, all of my friends and I have introduced each other to our favorite stuffed animals, and that's how Moo Moo has become best friends with my friend Christine, stuffed animal Pig Pig.
I'm a Nats fan, and when I got to college, I really missed watching baseball and getting to cheer on my team. So if you're like me, you should try and find people who support the same team as you. It's not that hard. I started wearing this hat around everywhere and wearing other merch around, and what ended up happening is I kept bumping into people who knew my team. Now, some people did keep thinking that I was wearing a Walgreens hat, which I didn't appreciate, but I ended up having some other conversations about that too. And through all of this, I got to watch some of the World Series games with some guys on my floor, and we all got to celebrate together when the Nats won the World Series during my first semester.
If you're missing your friends or your family a lot, just kind of like pick a spot in your schedule during the week and just keep that spot open for talking to people. I know I would often just, when I was walking back from classes or back from the CSC, I'd just sort of use that time to talk to people sometimes. And that ended up being really nice because I get to go for a little walk and also catch up with people. And that ended up being a really good way to stay in contact. I was also the kind of person who would send letters to my friends, and I also got some back. And that was really nice. I highly recommend. Just go buy some stamps, get your friend's address at school or at home or wherever they are, and yeah, just send a letter. You can also do this with family. They really appreciate it, especially on birthdays. I can tell you that.
Do your best to get sleep. There's a WashU professor who gives her students a survey at the end of every year to see what distinguishes her top students from all the rest. And the one thing that's different is that her best students are the ones who prioritize sleep. If you're feeling lonely, find out photos of your friends. If you're feeling anxious, get yourself some stress toys. Try journaling or writing down your thoughts if you're feeling overwhelmed. Decorate your room with things that make you happy. If you think you might need more professional help, you should go talk to Habit. They have all sorts of resources. There are counselors with various specializations. They have psychiatrists. All of them are doing telehealth right now, if you need that. They have support groups there for various things. And there's also the RSVP Center. There's Sarah. There's Uncle Joe's. And if that's not enough, you can always talk to Habit, and they're always willing to give you more resources beyond their abilities if you need that. So don't be afraid of reaching out. You get about 9 free therapy sessions, I believe, and I highly recommend seeking that out if you have any inkling that it might help.
I hope you found this helpful, and if you ever want to talk about literally anything, come find me and we can talk. Have a great first semester, and I'll see you around campus!